Hi, folks. If you thought the left couldn't get more unhinged, wait till you hear what's got them frothing at the mouth this week. In an era where Democrats can't define what a woman is but claim to be experts on fascism, the latest threat to democracy is the LA Dodgers visiting the White House. That's right. Apparently honoring the age-old tradition of celebrating a World Series win is now a moral crisis because President Trump was the one doing the honors. The Dodgers showed up, shook hands, posed for a few photos, and suddenly the same people who think flag burning is patriotic are demanding a boycott over a baseball team daring to be respectful of the sitting president. Today, we'll look at what actually went down at the White House and how the left is treating this like the next great national emergency. It's hypocrisy, hardball style, and the left just struck out.
Congratulations, Brian. And others, we have a couple of senators here. I just don't particularly like them, so I won't introduce. Over the course of this amazing season, the members of this team... I didn't think it was that big a deal, actually. Washington. Over the course of this amazing season, the members of this team gave us some of the most...
How can anyone hate this man? Seriously, Trump just delivered one of the coldest, funniest moments in politics in recent history. He's got the Dodgers in the White House celebrating the World Series win with cameras flashing and the press drooling for a headline, and he just gets up on the mic, scans the room, and when it's time to acknowledge the California senators, he just doesn't. Instead, he smirks and says, I don't particularly like them, so I won't introduce them. That's it. No spin, no empty civility, just pure, undiluted Trump. And the best part, the Dodgers, this major league team full of household names, starts cracking up all of them. You see them right behind them, just can't hold in the laughter. These guys know how fake Washington is. They've seen athletes and celebrities grovel to the same politicians who bash them the second the cameras are off. But Trump treats them like what they are, irrelevant. And for a team from deep blue California to break into full-blown laughter on the White House, that tells you everything. It was like watching the air get sucked out of the DC bubble, one brutally honest punchline at a time. Now, this wasn't just a dig, it was a declaration. Trump reminded the country that you don't have to pretend to like people who actively work against you, that you don't have to clap for your enemies just because tradition says so. He didn't play nice. He didn't reach across the aisle. He told the truth, dropped the mic, and let the Dodgers laugh behind him while the media scrambled to turn it into the next national crisis. And let's be honest here. Obama used to do the same thing, and he would get roaring applause from the left whenever he did. And yet, somehow, this is the guy the left tells us is a threat to democracy. Nope. What they're really afraid of is that he keeps exposing how fake the whole game is, that he tells the truth and makes people laugh while doing it.
And Max Muncy, I want to congratulate Max. Max. Come here, Max. These arms are very strong when I touch them. I'm used to shaking politicians and hitting their armors like Jell-O. And now it's like steel, all these guys.
That was great. Trump just shakes Max Muncy's hand, pauses for a beat, and then drops one of the funniest, most brutally accurate lines you'll ever hear all year. His arms are very strong when I touch them. I'm used to shaking politicians and hitting their arm, and it's like Jell-O, and now it's like steel. I mean, come on. That's not just a compliment to Muncy. That's a drive-by on half of Washington. And he's not wrong. There are a lot of soft hands in D.C., and not just physically. These are the same people who fold under pressure, who can't handle a tough question, who've spent their lives insulated from real work, real consequences, and real strength. They go to the gym once for a photo op, eat kale with a fork and a knife, and pretend they're warriors for democracy while getting steamrolled by reality. Trump's joke landed because it's true. Athletes train, fight, and earn their strength. But politicians, most of them could lose an arm wrestling match to a middle schooler. And here's Trump, former president, standing with world-class athletes, reminding everyone what actual toughness looks like. Not performative, not scripted, just a simple handshake that told the whole story. Soft hands, soft policies, soft leadership. That's Washington in a nutshell. And Trump, he's still the only guy willing to say that out loud.
Mr. President, we have a gift for you as well.
I like that. Wow. Ooh, I like that.
And that moment right there, folks, that's what truly triggered the left. Clayton Kershaw, one of the most respected pitchers in baseball, walks up during the White House celebration and hands Trump a Dodgers jersey with the number 47 on it. Simple, classy, a nod to tradition. But to the left, it was a full-blown meltdown moment. You'd think Kershaw handed Trump the nuclear codes the way these people reacted. Within minutes, social media lit up with the usual hysteria. Dodgers fans swearing off the team, claiming the jersey was tainted, saying they were done with baseball altogether because of a handshake, a jersey, a photo. Look, let me tell you something. If you feel that way, you were never a Dodgers fan to begin with. And by the way, this is the left's playbook every time. If something doesn't conform to their narrow ideological bubble, it must be destroyed. Never mind that Kershaw was honoring a president at a traditional White House event, or that this exact thing happens after every championship. Nope. This time, it's fascism because it involved Trump. The irony, these are the same people who preach unity and tolerance, but the second someone steps outside their narrative, they're ready to cancel an entire team over a number on a jersey. Here's the truth. The jersey wasn't ruined. The Dodgers brand wasn't stained. If anything, it only got stronger because moments like this expose just how hysterical and shallow the outrage machine really is. And Trump, he didn't even flinch. He held that jersey up with a smile while liberals cried into their avocado toast.
I'm crashing the fuck out because tell me, why are the Dodgers going to the White House? Take this fucking shit off. Take this fucking shit off. I fucking can't. Benny, give me that fucking shirt. Give me your fucking shirt. Fuck Otani. Fuck Freeman. Fuck Mookie. Fuck Kike. Fuck Banda. I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking losing it, bro. I'm fucking losing it. Count your fucking days. Dodgers, count your fucking days. I can't fucking breathe. I'm fucking shaking. Shut up. Shut up. I don't fucking care who is in charge. I don't fucking care what is the fucking tradition. I don't fucking care. It's all fucking stupid and I fucking hate you guys. Count your fucking days, Dodgers. Count your fucking...
This was one of many posts, tweets, TikToks, IG stories flooding the timeline from every corner of the internet. Unhinged liberals throwing away their supposed lifelong loyalty to the Dodgers because the team dared to visit the White House and shake hands with President Trump. That's it. That's the crime, and the reaction's absolutely psychotic. Case in point, this Latina TikToker, yes, the kind who probably lists her pronouns before their name, going completely berserk, screaming at her phone, throwing merch, seemingly abusing her dog, cussing out every Dodgers player like they personally betrayed her in a telenovela. F. Friedman, F. Mookie, count your effing days. She's shaking, crying, hyperventilating like Trump personally stole her boyfriend and canceled her brunch reservation. Needless to say, this isn't protest. This is performance art from people so emotionally fragile, they think a baseball jersey at the White House is the beginning of fascism. It's not about policy or principle. It's pure tribal hysteria. One minute, they're rocking Dodgers hats. The next, they're burning them on camera like we've gone full cult ritual. And the funniest part, these are the same people who scream about saving democracy but can't handle a sports team being polite to the president of the United States. And God forbid that president is named Donald Trump. Then it's DEFCON 1 meltdown mode. And let's be honest here, the Dodgers didn't betray anyone. What's really been exposed is how much the left has wrapped their identities around outrage. And when reality doesn't play along, they don't just disagree. They detonate like toddlers. But no liberal had a bigger meltdown about the Dodgers visiting Trump than Jimmy Kimmel.
Our World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers today met the draft dodger in chief at the White House. It was a unique opportunity for the franchise that signed Jackie Robinson to meet the president who had him removed from our government websites. You know, a lot of fans are wondering why the Dodgers organization, the Dodgers players, would have anything to do with Trump, why they would go. We have to remember, we had a big fire here at the beginning of the year, and Donald Trump is the one who, 5 days after the fires went out, turned on an imaginary valve and sent millions of gallons of water hundreds of miles away from here. So we owe him. We at least owed him this. So the team showed up, and You could tell Trump was appreciative because he seemed to have, I don't know if you watched the whole World Series, he seemed to have a deep and specific understanding of what the Dodgers accomplished last season.
All year, the Dodgers faced down adversity. You entered the playoffs battered and bruised, but not broken. When you ran out the healthy arms, you ran out of really healthy. They had great arms, but they ran out. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular, and pitchers, I guess you could say, in really particular.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular, and pitchers, I guess you could say, in really particular. His brain is basically a pouch of big league chew.
And Max Muncy, I want to congratulate Max. Max. Come here, Max. These arms are very strong when I touch them. I'm used to shaking politicians and hitting their armors like Jell-O, and now it's like steel. All these guys.
Steel? Well, put a tariff on it then. It's steel.
Oh, Jimmy, once again, the man who built his career on laughing at celebrities in bikinis who's now auditioning for MSDNC with a monologue so full of smug condescension and historical revisionism, it practically writes itself. Let's break this meltdown piece by piece, because when you strip away the laugh track and the forced applause, all that's left is a cocktail of bad faith, misinformation, and third-rate stand-up. Let's start with the opening jab. Kimmel says, our World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers today met the draft dodger in chief at the White House. Hilarious. Really. If you're still reaching for 1960s Vietnam-era roasts in 2025, maybe update your material, or at least find a line that hasn't been worn thin by every hack Twitter account with resistance in their bio. For the record, Trump received medical deferments in a time when millions of men, Democrats included, did the same. But more importantly, this isn't about military service. This was a visit to honor baseball players, not rehash Jimmy's boomer war fantasies. Then there's the insult to Trump's intelligence. Jimmy quips that Trump's brain is a pouch of big league chew after he showed an out-of-context 10-second clip from a 20-minute ceremony where the president spoke for several minutes. And yes, at one point, Trump complimented Max Muncy's strength and joked about how politicians' arms feel like Jell-O. But let me ask you this. If Joe Biden, a man who needs glow-in-the-dark tape to know how to walk off stage, had delivered the exact same line, would Kimmel be calling it folksy or charming? Of course. Because in Jimmy's world, when his guy misreads the teleprompter or literally falls on his face flat on stage, it's empathy. When Trump makes a joke, it's brain damage. Now let's address the bizarre attempt to shoehorn Jackie Robinson into this. Kimmel says it was ironic that the Dodgers, who once signed Robinson, would visit Trump, the man who had him removed from government websites. Ah, yes. A favorite leftist trick, drop a racial icon into the conversation and then fabricate a connection to Trump to trigger moral outrage. The claim stems from a reorganization of the White House's web content in 2017 where entire sections of the Obama administration site were archived and migrated. No one removed Jackie Robinson from the historical record. He's still very much recognized on multiple .gov pages, including the National Archives and the Library of Congress. But that doesn't fit the narrative, so Kimmel twists it into some kind of Jim Crow 2.0 moment. Next, we get this gem. Kimmel says, Trump turned on an imaginary valve and sent millions of gallons of water hundreds of miles away from here, referencing California's recent wildfires. This is pure narrative sleight of hand. What Trump actually did was criticize California's mismanagement of forest land and water resources, something even Democrat officials have quietly admitted is a factor in causing the fires. Kimmel wants you to believe Trump personally rerouted a river like some kind of Bond villain. The truth, California's water issues are the result of a decades-long failure of environmental policy, regulatory gridlock, and mismanagement. But it's easier to blame Trump than question your own governor, especially when that governor's last name is Newsom. And by the way, Trump asked for the water to be released, and the person who released it into the ocean was actually Newsom. So, kind of a Democrat circle of hell right there. And the rest of the monologue, basically just cheap shots, lazy sarcasm, and a desperate attempt to cling to the moral high ground while mocking a moment of tradition. A president honoring a sports team, which has happened under every administration, left or right. And let's not ignore the real elephant in the room here. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't speak for Dodgers fans. He speaks for a coastal bubble so allergic to opposing viewpoints that even a handshake between a baseball player and a Republican president sends them spiraling. It's not about Trump. It's about control, about punishing any deviation from the script. Kershaw gave Trump a jersey. Burn your merch. Muncy smiled during the speech. Call him a traitor. This isn't politics anymore. It's a religion. And Jimmy is just another televangelist preaching to the converted while pretending it's all just comedy. So if you're watching this thinking, why are they freaking out over a baseball team visiting the White House? You're not crazy. They are. This is mental illness. Because of them, even a ceremonial jersey is now all of a sudden a cultural battlefield. Even a handshake is war. These folks are committed to the end goal of their cultural Marxism, and that is to undo the fabric of American society so they can completely topple it and install their communist utopia once and for all, consolidating power, thus shoving down our throats whatever the hell they want. Which is why someone like Kimmel gets rattled by the Dodgers visiting the president. That's how you know it hit the target. So ask yourself, when did basic tradition become treason? When did shaking a hand or honoring a team turn into an act of political violence? We're living in a time where the loudest voices demand conformity, not conversation, where emotional meltdowns get more airtime than meaningful dialogue. If a baseball team visiting the White House can trigger nationwide outrage, what does that say about the fragility of the narrative we're all supposed to obey? Maybe it's time to stop taking cues from the people who treat every disagreement like a personal apocalypse. Maybe it's time to start thinking for ourselves again, because if this is what progress looks like, rage mobs, cancel culture, and moral panic over a jersey, then what exactly are we progressing towards? You tell me what you think in the comments down below. Hope you have a terrific day. Peace.